Take it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better.
Hi everyone, you're welcome to my channel. I am Paula Ekene. I give you tips on how to take care of your mental health, very relatable tips. And with me here is Christian. I bumped into Christian's story on social media, I think Facebook, right? Yeah. And I picked interest. It was so interesting and motivating that I had to reach out to him, and he is willing to share his story with us, and I hope you are ready to listen to Christian's story. Remember to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to do that, and please like my video. Of course, I know you're going to like the content. So over to Christian so that we don't waste so much of our time. Today is not about me, today is about Christian. So Christian, you're welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to share your story with us.
It's my pleasure, man.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just delve into the subject matter. So I ran into your story. I must tell you why I reached out to you. So I ran into your story, and you told it was actually a long one. It was like an epistle, but you told me how resilient, how resolute, and how self-driven, self-motivated you are, and that was why I reached out to you. So I felt one or two persons might learn one or two things from you. So can you just introduce yourself? Just let us know who you are, what you do.
My name is Christian Chinedu Andrew. I'm from Imo State,
okay.
But I was born and brought up in Bakassi, Cross River State, Nigeria.
Oh.
I'm an educationist. I studied pharmacy technician from Cross River State College of Health Technology, and then moved to University of Calabar for my degree program, which I ventured into health education.
Okay.
Yeah, but currently I'm a social entrepreneur. Yeah, and I do series of businesses actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another thing that struck me about you. You seem to have your hands in a lot. You do I think fabric business, you do food stuff, and a lot of things.
Sure,
yeah. So well, Christian, you're welcome, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So I just want to tease out a few points, okay, that I ran into while reading your story on social media. One of these points was how difficult it was growing up, and I just want you to, you can summarize, and then we'll take our picks from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So I was born into a family of 7.
Okay.
I'm the 5th child.
Okay.
And then so there were 4 before me, and then 2 after me. So, but the 4 before me, I wouldn't say there was this roadmap that was created by them. You know, this situation that you're coming up, there are people that is ahead of you, you're looking up to them as your role model. Yeah. So I didn't have such. Rather, I in turn became the role model, for those ahead and for those after.
Wow.
So I attended my nursery education there in Bakassi. Bakassi then was like a very remote settings, even if things have changed for now. So it was very remote. So I attended my nursery education there. And then after my nursery school, my dad took me to Imo State for my secondary education. I actually got admission in police secondary school. I was that smart and brilliant.
Oh.
But one man came to my dad and told my dad that it's not good for all his children to be born here, and they will do all their secondary school, their school in that community, that he should take me to the village. So probably my dad thought he was doing me good. So, but I was taken to the village eventually. So I stayed with my grandmother, and then, stay with an aged grandmother. So everything about education just came to zero. So there was nobody to push me. I wasn't reading. I was just going because
she
I was smart.
A free hand,
free hands.
Okay.
Her own is just eat and eat.
You were
so
pampered.
I was so pampered that
okay.
So even when I started secondary school, the school was actually a missionary school, far from my community, another village entirely. So I was very small. I was 10. So I was very small when I started my secondary education. So, and the only option was for them to get me a bicycle. My dad got me a bicycle, and you can imagine a 10-year-old boy on a bicycle. Then these small bicycles were not rampant. 1989 or thereabouts. So all these small bicycles were not rampant. So it was all these big bicycles. So you can imagine pedaling bicycle from my village to another village, standing, because even if I sit, my leg
Your
doesn't
leg
reach
won't
the
get to the pedal.
So at some point when it became so problematic for me, so they had to get me a driver. So I had a driver for a bicycle.
You were a big boy.
A big boy then. So it was actually my schoolmate though, but he was bigger than myself.
Okay.
The brother to the guy who advised my dad. So he was a class ahead of me. Yeah. So he now had to abandon his own bicycle. So I was using mine to carry me to school. So and at that point I would say, okay, mom and dad were doing very well. At least they could afford me some of the necessities of life. But at some point things went very bad. That they couldn't pay my WAEC fee, so I had to stop in SS2. I came back to Bakassi to join them. So there was no hope of going back to school. There was no hope of writing my exams. So everything was just like that. I had to stay extra 1 year at home. But at some point I felt, no, I need to at least let me finish secondary school. So I started hustling. So I was selling. There's nothing I've not sold. I sold granite.
Have you sold human parts?
I've not sold human parts. No, I've not sold that one. I sold granite. I sold chin chin. I sold pepe. I sold tomatoes. I sold onion. There's nothing except human part and maybe feces. I keep telling people. So because I needed to go back to school. So writing my WAEC was a combination of 4 efforts. I had to bring money. My dad was able to give me some money. I bumped into a friend in one of those days when I was selling. School was still on, so I was selling banana and granite and egg.
Where were you selling those things?
In Bakassi. Yes. So the man is actually a soldier. He was like, "You're supposed to be in school." I said, "Yes, sir. I'm supposed to be in school, but I'm not in school because I need money to register for my exams. So that's why I'm selling, so I could save up some money." So he now asked me to see him. So I remember he gave me 2,000 naira. So and then I added up what I saved. My dad added up. So we went to the school. I was supposed to write my exams. We met the proprietor. As at then, writing WAEC and NECO was about 20-something thousand, 20-something 30,000. Not now that the price has gone very high. So the man now said that I should bring 20,000. So he actually gave me
some discount.
Yeah, some discount. I should bring 20,000 to register for both WAEC and NECO. But truth is that I couldn't even raise the 20,000. So at the end of the day, it was 16,000 I was able to pay. And like I said, that's why I say it's a combination of 4 efforts. My dad, the army guy, myself, and then the discount from the proprietor that we couldn't even pay up. So I was able to write my WAEC and my NECO. So at that time, writing WAEC and NECO was like I had a PhD. So I was celebrated like someone who has a PhD. And I think that was the climax for me at that point. So I had to go into hustling, selling, and all those stuff. So yes, that was how my
quite interesting.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I for a pampered child, from what you explained from your story, you were somewhat pampered.
By my grandmother.
By your grandmother. Okay, so what was the driving force? What made you think there were some gaps? Okay, mom and dad couldn't afford these things. I should go out, get them for myself. We are talking about over 10 years ago, right?
Yeah,
more than 10 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah, then everyone, most people relied 20 years ago. Most people relied on their parents or maybe some push, external push. Did you have any external push? Why did you have to go all the way to do that for yourself? So I need to know.
Okay, yeah. I didn't have any external push, like no push from anywhere. And my parents were not this kind of people that, you know, they weren't that kind of,
especially when they knew the resources were
there. They were not pushy. So I just knew that there's something special, something spectacular about me. You know, right from when I was growing up, I always know that I'm a very unique person. So I'm always at the forefront, taking leadership positions.
Wow.
Even while I was in my nursery school, it was as if first position was my entitlement. So the day I took second, I actually fought with the guy who took first. Like, I refused to go back home. They had to come bring me back home.
So why did you fight? Like,
yes,
he stole it or
he
something?
Stole my entitlement, and it was actually mathematics. The push, I just had this inner motivation. I know, growing up in a remote environment, people, there was no like in town here where we have, okay, I'm seeing this guy, so I can draw motivation from them.
The people,
there was
role
nobody,
models.
there was no role model, so you were on your own. But since I knew that there was this thing spectacular about me, and then I was like, I can't just end my dreams here. So I was looking beyond that environment. So the miracle happened in 2009. That is 31st 2009 against 2010. So when I went for
31st of December,
31st of December, which we're entering 2010. So I went for our old students association meeting, the one in my school, not where I wrote my work actually. So when I went for that meeting, so I saw my classmates, they were doing very well. Some of them have, at some point I was regretting why I even had to come back to Bakassi. I would have stayed back in Imo State. Probably I would have gotten all the motivations I wanted and all of those things. So this ones, when they were introducing themselves, it was I'm already a graduate, or I'm in my finals.
And then you hadn't gone into school.
I have not. I don't even know what school looks like. So I thought university was for the elites. You know, was for those big guys. So I saw them, they were introducing themselves. I was like, what? Even the ones that was better off than in secondary school, intellectually. I'm in final year, I'm in third year, I'm in second year. So when it got to my turn to introduce myself, you know, I was so ashamed. Like, what am I going to tell these guys?
How are you going to start
so immediately I stood up, you know, to tell them my name is Christian. They started cheering me. Hey, Mr. Ore. I used to have a name in school then, Mr. Orange. They call me Mr. Orange. And the reason is because I came out from a very remote area to where we have people from different background and who are exposed. So the first day in school, my grandma has stocked my bag with oranges, you know. So I went to school, and you know, normally people will come to you, what's your name, where are you coming from, and all of those things. I wasn't answering them. I was afraid if I speak or if I say anything, they will laugh at me. So I was just there sucking my orange.
You were timid.
Yeah, I was so timid. Like, I was there just taking my oranges. So that became my name, Mr. Orange. So if you go to my school, even till today, I mention my name, nobody knows. But if you just say Mr. Orange, everybody knows me by that name. So immediately I just stood up to tell them my name is Chris. Mr. Orange, good to see you. You're grown up. Look at this boy. So you know. So as they were now doing all of those hailing, I just sat down quietly. So when they finished their hailing, they're like, okay, continue, tell us which school are you? I said, I have finished though. People were hailing, keep hailing. They say, you and this your drama, you've not stopped. I said, yeah, I finished my introduction. So that was how I was able to maneuver that situation. But when I came back, I said, no, that whatever it takes for me to go to school, I will go to school. Then I used to see a friend that wears white and every day I was like, please, what do they do in that your school? He was like, we have a pharmacy. That was how I had to, you know, go there, make inquiries, and got form and every other thing. So before you know, I got the admission. So when I got the admission, I now came back home. I didn't tell my parents all this why that I've gotten admission.
That on your Facebook post.
So when I came back to the house, I called mom and dad. They've just given me admission. They were excited. No, they were excited. And then mom now asked, how much? Okay, it was my dad that asked, how much is the school fees? When I mentioned 40-something thousand, then, you know, in 2010, 40-something thousand, my mom screamed, who will pay that kind of money? Where will you get money to pay? I said, well, that's why I didn't want to tell you people. My dad said something that struck me, and that word has kept resounding in my mind. He said, son, that even if it means walking naked to ensure that I pay your school fees, I will do that. So that was the motivation.
Was
the only motivation. I was like, okay, I said, wow, okay, that's good. So we started the whole process, admission stuff, screening and the rest, and then I started school. So he was able to pay my school fees for that first year, but at the second year, everything went agog. Like, so as if all road closed. So when I came back for vacation, they couldn't send me back to school. So even with that, I was still doing business. I buy tomatoes, tin tomatoes, because the market days is always Mondays and Fridays. So I buy tin tomatoes, go to the market, sell with Maggie, you know. But how much do you make? After selling a carton of tin tomatoes, you make 150. So at most, you sell in a day 300. Or 450.
150 naira.
150 naira. That's you want to do fast turnover.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay.
Because it's a market day. So if you keep it, I'm not selling in shops. So people come to the market. So I hawk the with sweetness, buy tomatoes, buy this. So at some days 2, some days 3, some days 4. So 600 naira, 450, 300 naira. What will you do? Cannot save up for my school fees, not to talk of my feeding money. So I'll just use that money, take care of myself and all that stuff. So when it's time for school resume, like college day, we used to call it a glorified secondary school because when it's time for school fees, they actually send you out of the classroom. Yes, they actually send out of the classroom. And
At
then,
the beginning of the semester
Yes.
or in the like
Yes.
the first few days of the beginning?
no, not the
or
first few days.
Midway?
Yeah, midway, maybe
Okay.
after 2 weeks of
so
resumption.
you get enough time to.
Yeah, after 2 weeks of resumption. So, and then, so I was like, so it means I will just be tagged as a guy who started school, ended in year 1. And I was like, God, you cannot bring me halfway and stop me.
Stop you.
I have to finish my school. So even when we go for prayer meetings, we used to pray in cycles in my church then. So each time they say, oh yeah, bring out your prayer topic, I was like, it appears I'm not going back to school. Please,
Yeah.
people should pray for me. So that was my prayer topic.
You were consistent with that
Yeah,
prayer
I was
point.
consistent with it. Until, it came to a point that one of my friend, I tagged him in that Facebook post, and I keep tagging him every year of my
you
birthday.
said he came to your
Yeah,
rescue.
the boy came. He was like, he said, Christian, don't worry, you will go back to school. My father just bought me some textbooks, dictionaries, clothes. I will sell them off so that we can raise money for you to go back to school. I was like, are you serious?
Angel in human form.
Angel in human form, that's the word exactly. So I was like, wow, that's great. Eventually he didn't sell those fees because I can never forget that kind gesture, the thought of coming to sell your properties because you want me to go back to school. So today I call him my adopted brother. Those that kind of things. So money came. My dad was able to give me my school fees. I think was 42,500. So he was able to give me 42,000. So I didn't bother about it. I know that anyhow, the 500 will come. So I left for school without hope of where to stay, without hope of what to eat, without hope of anything. Just my school fees. So by the time I got to the college, and then I was like, if I pay these school fees, it means I'm running into troubles. I know where they sell medical textbooks in Aba, and there's this man that used to come supply textbooks to students, and I now try to compare the prices. I discovered that I can actually get something like this and sell at a cheaper rate. So I had to travel to Aba, got those textbooks. I started with my class. One of those days we sit in class, I just came up with this book, MDEX that has
MDEX.
I said, God, thank God bless me with what then? I was like, you need to, for you to graduate from this department, you need this book. If you don't have MDEX, what are you? What do you want?
The Nigerian version of the BNF and all of that.
Yeah, you need MDEX. I started opening MDEX. I was like, okay, let's look at one drugs. This is the indications, contraindications. This. People were like, wow. So we have a book like this. I said, yes. So we have. Before please, I need one. Business started.
Whoa.
Okay, I had already introduced it I bought one, that's my copy. I introduced it to them. So when they were now like, I am interested, I said, fine, business. I had to go order for the books. That was how I started getting patronage. People were coming, I need this book, community health, pharmacy. I started selling books. Before after school, I'll come to the hostel, sample my books. And then we used to have School of Nursing also there. So I have nurses book to medical physiology and the rest. So I would sample books, people come and was buying. So when they were like, okay, it's time to pay school fees, I already mapped out 42,500
and
naira.
you still had capital
And business was running. That was how I started business in school. That year, I was like the messiah in my school.
Wow.
So it wasn't easy, but God saw me through.
Wow. So interesting. I'm sure that if we stay here for 5 hours, we'll have something to say. So guys, we just wanted to start up this conversation this week, and in the coming weeks we're still going to talk to Christian and get to know how he was able to pull through. So I just want to use Christian's story as a motivation to some of us that think that there is no hope. At some point in your life, you might feel low, you might feel lost, you might feel confused, and I just want you to, remember Christian's story and know that no matter how dark it is, just before dawn, it's going to be bright, at the end of the day. So Christian, one last question, and very short. What made you, at what point, okay, let's start from, at what age did you realize that you had something special? And how did you sustain that drive to get to where you are today?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So, like I said before now, right from when I was growing up, So I always knew there's something God has kept for me, and I was going to be a great person. So even at some point, I lost that motivation when things weren't working the
More
way
like
I
it.
expected it should work.
More like it.
So as if
You
I was
lose it at
putting,
times.
I was putting in more effort and I was getting
Nothing in
nothing
return.
in return. So I thought probably this thing wasn't for people like us. Maybe we could just stay and be cheering
Others.
others, and then whatever. At some point, I believe, okay, in faith, okay, whatever it is, let it be so. But at some point, I now realized that no, that I have to take the bull by the horn, And I wouldn't say specifically this was at the age at which I realized that, but I know
you.
that I had a turn around when I made that first move to go to school. So when I started my program, I had to now realize that there's much about me
Yeah,
that
that you
I didn't
hadn't
even
harnessed.
know or had even harnessed or discovered. So, and I tried to put all of these things in place. In 2000 and she was that I started coming to town because of a program brought me to Calabar. So I sat under the administration of one of my pastor who is still my pastor today. And then when he's roaring like a lion, there is something in you. You can be this, you can be that. I was like, me? How? So I was like, okay, maybe there's something spectacular about
Truly.
me that I've not really discovered. So I just had to motivate myself. I wouldn't say I have plenty of mentors. I wouldn't say I have plenty of role models. So some of the things I learned in life is through the scripture and through following people who were already doing the right thing. And it has really helped me a whole lot. So my motivation is sometimes I am self-motivated. So there are also times that I was like, what is
Yeah,
happening?
it
I'll be
wasn't
so
rosy,
downcasting
yeah.
and all of those. People in my community, the women there, sometimes when they want to write a letter to their son anywhere, they come to me.
you.
Even when they have children that was also schooling. So, but they felt this guy is just too good. You understand? So they used to call me Mwishi Akwukwo in my
Okay,
place. Mwishi
yeah.
Akwukwo, a child with the
Wonder
book.
how-
Yeah.
So others saw what you saw in yourself.
Yeah.
Equally,
So they were like,
basically.
don't allow this to waste. Don't allow this to
okay.
waste. So all of those things, when I came out, I was like, no, there are people I don't need to disappoint
yeah.
because they are actually
People
waiting
looking up to
for
you.
me. Yeah, they're looking up to me. Even in my family, I am the first person who has crossed secondary school and I've gone to the tertiary education, both paternal and maternal.
Wow.
So it's like a plus to me and to my family.
Sure.
So, and then other people are now coming. So I had to set the pace for them.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you, Kristen. Okay, so guys, we'll end it here for the week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and of course watch our
Subscribe
content.
to the channel.
Please subscribe to our channel and we'll bring you another part of Christian's story next week. So guys, until next time, bye bye.